Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Linda Ellis. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK and my website is lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and I made this box. So I wanted a box that would hold a Terry's chocolate orange, which we have in America, in the UK. They're available all year, but they really do come into their own at Christmas, and yeah, it's like essential part of Christmas is the Terry's chocolate orange. So anyway, I went on to Pinterest, as you do, and all the tutorials I could find for a cover for Terry's chocolate orange were for 12 by 12 paper. Now, Stampin' Up does do some 12 by 12, but it's quite a limited range of colour, and I really wanted to do it in Lost Lagoon, and they don't do it in we don't do 12 by 12 paper in Lost Lagoon. So I thought I'd see if I could work out how to do it with a piece of A4 or two pieces of A4, and I have done it. So I'm going to show you how. Now, what I tend to suggest for people when you're making a box for the first time, don't use your posh, nice, expensive card. Use your cheap stuff, have a play till you've got the hang of it, and then use your nice, posh, expensive card to make it. So it's a lovely little stocking filler. So let's get started, as the YouTubers say. Right, so I've got two pieces of A4 Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to make the box first, so the bottom of the box, and then I'm going to make the reinforced lid. Excuse me. Right, so I have my trusty written instructions next to me, which I will post underneath the video in the description, so you don't need to panic about those. They will be there. In fact, if you want to sort of start your cutting out, I'd watch it through first, then cut out your card, and then come back with your card and make it as I'm making it. Would be probably the best way to do it. Right, so we are starting with the lid, and we've got a piece of A4 card, and I want to cut at 15.5 centimeters from the short edge. Okay, so from this edge we are cutting at 15.5 centimeters, which is, and this will be our base. Right, I don't want to knock my coffee over. Let's pop that over there. Okay. So 15.5 centimeters, and I'm just going to cut. Okay, so that's at 15.5. Okay. And that's all the cutting we're going to do for the bottom of the box. So don't ask me why I've got two blades in at the moment. I can't quite remember why either, but there you go. Just shows how versatile it is. It holds two blades. I'm going to move this up. Got everything out of the way. Yeah, anybody who's ever seen me making these videos, it may look lovely and tidy here, but it's chaos around the outside. So I've taken the cutting blades off because I just want to score now, and I'm going to keep it this way, and I'm going to score at 6 centimeters. Okay, so that's just scoring at 6 centimeters. Then I'm going to turn it through 90 degrees, and now I'm going to score from the long side. So this is from the long side, and from the long side score at 7.2, 14.4. And with this, you do need to be accurate. We are looking at 14.4, not 14.4 and a half. So 21.6 is the next one. And again, it's just in the middle of the line on your trimmer. So that is 21.6 and 28.8, which then leaves us a sliver that we can use to glue. Okay, so we have scored from 7.2, 14.4, 21.6 and 28.8. Okay, so that's all our scoring done for this. I'll pop one of the blades back on and put this away because I will need it for the lid. Okay. So, and I'm now going to do all my burnishing. So that's my 6 centimeter. And the mathematicians amongst you will realise that my sides are all 7.2 centimetres wide. Okay, so we're going to do this one. Okay, so the taller pieces, these are our box, and this is the bottom of the box. So I'm going to come along and do some cutting. So I'm going to get my longer blade scissors because I do find it easier to do it with these. The snips that we get from Stampin' Up are great, but they're not quite long enough, I don't think, for doing this. So I'm just going to cut up to the first score line. Just carefully stopping at the first score line. And then I'm just going to take a notch out of each side. Okay. There we go, so that they don't stick out when we're folding. Right. So same again. Just going to cut up to that middle and then a little notch out of each side, aiming for the score line as well. Okay. And then again cutting up down the score line or up the score line to where they cross and then notching in. And it just neatens the bottom if you've done this notching. You've nothing sticking out. And if you do end up with anything sticking out, you can always trim it off. Okay. So this is the tab here that's going to glue everything together. So I don't need one here. So I'm going to cut this off completely. And this time I'm just going to straight away notch it. You can straight away notch on the others as well. I'm going to take that a little bit further in because I want it a bit close. Okay. And then we're cutting this off on the score line and then notching in there and notching in at the top as well so you don't get that edge sticking up. Okay, are you with me so far? Right, now to save time I've actually prepped all my panels. Okay, so that's the one, those are the 5 for my lid, and this is for the box itself. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to stick my panels on before I stick it together, just because it's a bit easier. And also I want to explain that while these panels are square and these panels aren't, that's because the lid's going to come down over that. So once these panels are on and you make the gap equal round the edge, the lid will come to the top of the panels or just above. Yeah, reusing our card that didn't quite work out on another card. Very loath to, in fact I don't, and even unless it's really tiny, the only very tiny stuff I throw away. Anything that's a bit bigger than tiny goes to our local nursery and they give it to the kids to just do what they please with, which is great. Because nobody's panicking about them wasting really expensive stuff because they didn't have to pay. Okay, so that's 3, and here's the last one. Okay, and 4. So that's our 4 panels on, and as I say, the lid will cover this. So they do need to be towards the score line. Right, so now we're going to make our box. And so I'm going to pop some glue on that little flap, and I'm going to be quite generous because it does need to hold quite well. And I am going to fold that over and bring this up to meet it. So I'm basically folding in half and just lining everything up. So lining up the top and the score line and just gluing that down. Okay, just getting that nice and flat. There we go. And then we're going to turn it into a box. Now, you want you score your joining line to be somewhere near the back, so I'm going to put that there. So this will be the front, so this needs to be the last panel to go down. So I'm going to do 2 sides and the bottom. So then I'm going to put some glue on here. Don't forget, if you're not sure, rewind. That is the joy of YouTube. And then I'm putting some glue on the top here. And I'm going to glue that together. Now I've found, I mean, you can diddle about with your bone folder and press that down, but you know, the best thing to do to ensure, number 1, the box is square, and number 2, the glue sticks, is to stick your chocolate orange in there. So there we go. And then we can just press that down, and we know we've got a really good seal. Now if you find some of these little bits are just hanging off a little bit and you can see them, if you've not quite chamfered them enough or trimmed them enough, then you can trim it off. And I've just got, I don't know if you can see that, a little tail. I'm going to get out my trusty snips and I am just going to snip that off so it just tidies that corner at the bottom. To be fair, you could have left it, but I just wanted to be sure. So that's your bottom done. Sounds bad, that, doesn't it? Your bottom is done. Right. Okay, so let's go back to a piece of card and a trimmer. So let's put that to one side, and now we're going to make our box, and our box has got reinforced sides, so these sides are double. Okay, so it just makes it a bit stronger when it's coming on and off. And also I find if you do reinforced sides, they seem to be more snug. I think if it's a single layer, a single layer of card, it can gape a bit. So, and we're also going to decorate the sides of these, not just the top. Right, so we have our cutting blade back in for the moment. We shall be taking it out shortly. Right, and I'm going to take my second piece of A4 card. And this one I'm going to cut at 17.3 centimetres square. I haven't done this in inches because my brain doesn't work in inches, to be honest. 17.1, 2, 3 centimetres square. But if you have a Stampin' Up trimmer, even in the US, it has inches and centimetres, so you can make this with your card and it will come out of your size of card as well. If you have chocolate oranges, I don't know if you have chocolate oranges. 1, 2, 3, so that's 17.3 centimetres. And again, I am taking my blade out to put it somewhere safe. But so often I've been scoring and I've just come to the last score line and cut, which is so frustrating. So we're going to score the same all the way around this. So it doesn't matter where you start, and you're going to score at 2.4 centimetres and 4.9 centimetres on each side. So 2.4 and 4.9. 2.4 and 4.9. And again, accuracy is key. You really do need to be in the middle of that line on your trimmer, even though it is very thin. The more accurate you are at this stage, the better your box is going to be. 2.4 and 4.9. So I've gone all the way around now. Okay, so this is what we have. I'll put this away because I don't need it. So I'm going to go around and burnish all my folds. That's 1, 2. And again, this helps you getting a crisp edge to your box. Okay, so now we've got the lid to our box. So this is what we have. This is what we want. Okay, so what we need to do is take away the 3 corners on each of them and then make the flaps. So I've found the best way to do it is start with the piece facing you. Now it doesn't matter, it's square, so it doesn't matter which place you start, but once you've started, stick with it. Right, and so I am going to cut down all these 4 score lines to this line here. Okay, so I'm cutting down all 4 score lines to the 2nd score line. So just going to go, we're not bothering with any chamfers, any notches, anything. We're just going to cut straight down to the 1st score line. 2nd score line. See, even now I'm getting confused already. So down past the 1st to the 2nd, down past the 1st to the 2nd. Okay, then turn the whole thing 180 degrees. So now I've got all these flaps at this side and I'm working on this side here, and I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm going down the 1st score line, past that one to the 2nd, and again I'm going down the 1st and the 2nd, past the 1st and the 2nd, and then the 1st and the 2nd. Okay, so I've now got the same. I've got 5 flaps at each end. Okay, it's worth taking your time over this. Once you've got the hang of it, you can do it much quicker, but while you're doing it to start with. So I'm going back to my diagram here, and I need to take out up to the 1st score line, this one and this one. I'm going to do something that actually shows better because it is going anyway. So yeah, that one and that one, that one and that one. And then I'm going to take these 2 off as well. Okay, so I'm just going to take the outside squares off each corner. So we're going to do it again here. And again, I'm going to do it. Okay, so that's those 3, these 3, and I'm just going to cut them off. I'm not doing any shaping or anything. We're just going to go in and cut them off. So obviously the best way to do it is this way. So I need to lose both those 2. So I'm going into the 1st score line. Okay, gone. That one. So this one I'm going straight across. Okay. Same again on the other side. Across to the 1st score line. And then across and just take that tab off. Okay. Turn it round, same again. So we're going to the 1st score line, taking that one off. And then just snipping the end off that one. To the 1st score line. There. And then just snipping the end off that one. You can see it. Okay, so now I have my lid. Now if I folded that like that, a lot of bits would get in the way. Okay, so we need to do some shaping on our tabs. And the ones you are going to do are the outside ones. So it's these 4 and these 4. Okay, so you'll end up, so you've got these chamfered here and here. So these will help it fold better. So again, starting with one side towards you, we're going to just take off that corner there and this corner here. Okay, and then the edge of this to the 1st score line. You want that to be straight. I'm going to straighten mine up because actually it's not. It's just slightly off the score line, so I'm just straightening that one up, but only taking an angle off this side. I'm going to take a bit of an angle off here because that's going to fold in, and then I'm taking 2 corners off this tab. Okay, so we're now going to repeat that at the other end. Let's get rid of these. Okay, and I'm going to turn it round. Just checking it's still videoing. Right, so we're going to cut off this corner of this tab. Just repeating what we've just done. Okay, so the corner's off that tab there. The corner's off here. This is also, it'll all fit together when I've folded. Oh, my radiator's waking up. Okay, and then we're just going to chamfer these corners as well. Okay. Right, so that's all the 4 corners done. Let me get all these and get rid of them. So, but these pieces here are going to fold in as well. Okay, so we are just going to come round and do this one just to that score line, and here again just to that score line, and that's the 3rd one, and that's the 4th one. Okay, so, and this is why I suggest that you practice on cheaper card, because it's not as straightforward as a normal box lid, because it is double thickness. And what it's going to do is it folds up like that, and then these bits go down into the inside. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to put glue on these 2 flaps. Okay, so right to the edge, this edge here, and then in, and we're going to bring them up and line this cut edge with that fold. Okay, so you're just making the corner of the box. Again, accuracy is key. So again, I'm just folding that up to the edge there, so we're making a box. But on this occasion we've got extra bits stuck out the top, and then I'm going to do the same at the bottom. It's not really the bottom, is it? It's the other end. So I'm just going to come in with some glue on here, and I like the Tombow because it dries nice and quickly, so you get a little bit of wriggle room and then it's dry. You don't have to sit here for like 20 minutes holding it in position so it sticks. So again, just lining that together with the corner, using your finger to make sure that it's just lined up nicely. And again, okay. And as I say, all the measurements, including the measurements for all the panels, which I didn't tell you about, are all down in the description, so you can have a look. I didn't want to confuse you with too many measurements. Okay, so just getting that stuck down. Right, now you best, I don't know if you can see, let me have a look. Just trying to get the light on it. So the ones where you've got the little tabs in, it's best to fold those 2 sides. So it's this one and that one, the opposite ones down first. So my light's on the right, on the left, and I'm right-handed. So let's just see if I can do it. So I want some glue on this panel, and I'm now going to fold it in. Just get those out of the way. Now, because this has got the 2 extra tabs, if you like, on it, you do need to get in there and get that glued down. Okay, so I'm there with my bone folder, just pressing that into there so that it stays. And we'll do the same on this side. So again, glue here, turn it down, press it down first with your fingers, and then just really press it down with your bone folder so it's nice and crisp. So those are the 2 difficult sides. The other 2 sides are really easy because there's nothing else getting in the way. Okay, now if you hadn't chamfered your tabs, that would skew your box because they wouldn't fold down nicely because there's not enough room for them. So you need to make it. And also, when I was designing this box, this length here is slightly shorter than that length there, so that it fits. It's not struggling to fit on. Okay, so, and then finally on this one, and again I'm just going to go in one last time with my bone folder, just making sure everything is nice and straight. And there we go, we have a lid. Moment of truth, or moment of dread, woohoo! Lid fits, comes to the top of your square. Okay, so the last thing that needs to be done is to put your decorative panels on. Now you could do that before you folded it all up, or you could do it now. It really is up to you. There's always that worry amongst us box folders that the lid won't fit. But if you followed the instructions properly, it will. All right, okay, so that's one on the top. And then I'm just going to go around the edges on this one. I just thought the edges on the other one looked a little bit bare. And as I say, the measurements for all of these are down below. So that's 1, 2. So as I say, I'm really pleased that I've actually managed to work out a box for a chocolate orange that will work with a piece of A4, that we don't need to be using up all our 12 by 12 card, or that we can do it any colour we want. There we go. It's just curling up. Yeah, it is easier to do this when it's on a flat piece of card. But I wanted to get in how to actually make the lid itself. So I'm looking forward to seeing all these pictures of chocolate orange boxes that you've all made. Right. Okay. And I'd be interested, because I know I do have some subscribers from America, so if you could let me know whether or not you have Terry's Chocolate Orange. I think a lot of this is all owned by Nestle now, so you may well. But there you go. One chocolate orange box ready to go into somebody's stocking. Put a sentiment on the top, you could put a ribbon around it, you do what you want. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's made sense, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.